My name
Hello.
is Jala Jain, and I'm here with Diego. Hello, Diego.
Hello, Yalach. I am Diego.
And today, yes, and today we are going to complete, not the complete, but we are going to start a book that we have left in our previous video on page number 24. And we highlighted the text in that video. This book is about Jainism, and it is written by Mr. Bhandari or Dr. Bhandari. So, Diego, could you please read the book from the highlighted text?
Yes, perfect. Can you move a little bit down?
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. Okay. This approach, however, is not without objection and flaws. Many learned persons and gurus consider science and religion to be exclusive and believe that the religion is not amenable to scientific scrutiny. In contrast, Jainism claims itself to be based on science and has given importance to scientific study. Although here too the opinions may be divided. Jainism has some well-developed theories and practice, some being common to Buddhism and Hinduism. We will therefore discuss some aspects of Jainism in terms of modern physics in chapter 7. So, do you have any comment of this paragraph, Yaraj?
Yeah, I would like to say that, yeah, that's true that the people normally they have this kind of impression that religion and science cannot go together, and they are opposite of each other. I mean, people are trying to sometimes, not always, but many times I have seen on social media that people are demeaning the religion and saying science is everything, and vice versa is also true that people don't believe in science and say that okay, the religion are the absolute thing. But to understand both, one has to study both in depth, and then one has to understand if there is any connection or not. That's what I understood from this paragraph.
Mm. Yes, you are right.
And also, they say that Jainism has some well-developed theories and practices, and which could be more scientific that we will see in the following chapters.
Okay, I
Mm-hmm.
will continue. Okay,
Yeah, sure. I just yeah.
that's perfect. A little bit
Mm-hmm.
down, please. Down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Perfect. Okay. The cornerstones of Jainism is that every human or living being is born with a purpose or goal, and there are procedures to achieve the desired goal.
Mm-hmm.
Also, everyone has to discover the purpose of his life and his status in the spiritual domain. Gunstan chapter 5. By himself
Mm-hmm.
and starting from there. Chart his path. The ultimate goal is defined as attainment of enlightenment, which is the state of moksha or nirvana. In this
Mm-hmm.
respect, Jainism is applicable to all who seek enlightenment, an eternal state of omniscience and bliss.
Mm-hmm.
Jainism does away with the need of an ultimate God who
Mm-hmm.
creates and controls the universe and leaves the onus of the achieving the goals on the person himself. The important point to remember is that the life is governed by some laws which cannot be violated by and does not depend on favor and fear of an almighty God or his wish and fancy. Neither there is need of God to help or take the blame. The self is the master of his own destiny. he is the neither helpless or as a slave, but must take the responsibility for his own actions.
So, you have any comment about this paragraph?
Yes, I think I think that in Occident or here in Chile, it's very common the idea of God and uh, and and I understand that they are trying to explain. Uh, First, in the last paragraph, they talk about in this in Jainism they I agree with science and with they are not understanding what is a religion, and when you do that, you you find that you can you can find some relation between with the science. And science
Mhm,
is not again the idea of this understanding in difference with many religions that are
mhm,
opposite in certain way to the science. And in
mhm,
this chapter, in this paragraph, they talk about the idea of God in this way of in this understanding is not necessarily because the main I don't know how to say it because yes, the main character
mhm.
is your own is yourself.
The self, the self,
Yes,
yes.
yes,
Mhm,
and in that way of thinking, the important is find what is your path for find your
yourself,
yourself. Yeah, what do you
yes.
want in your life or
Mhm,
uh, so I and the idea is all the being got a purpose and or some goals and the idea is find the way for achieve that purpose or goals
goal, yeah. Mhm.
and that
Okay,
that is my understanding and do you have
yeah,
a comment I don't know.
yeah. I mean, the important point here is that in Jainism, uh, Jainism doesn't believe in the creation. Jainism simply means by saying that there is no God, it simply means it is a denying that there is no God who created the universe. Yeah. So they say that the paragraph says that the life governs by certain laws, and these laws are self-governed, and the the individual is responsible for his or her destiny. So
Mhm.
you masters your own destiny. You are not a slave. You are not a master. Sorry, there is no other entity in the universe or some idea like God who is playing with your life. It is you who is creating your own future. Basically, what you are responsible for that. So one has to take the responsibility of his or her actions. Okay. Shall we
Okay.
move in the further?
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Stop. Oh, a little bit
It's okay.
down, please. A little bit more down.
Okay.
Perfect. Okay. Jainism is considered as the eternal religion. What
Mm-hmm.
is eternal in the universe? One may ask. According to
Mm-hmm.
the modern scientific view, even the universe is not eternal. It was born in the Big Bang about 14 billion years ago, and it will meet its end and in not too distant future. In
Mhm.
such a transient universe, only the laws of physics are eternal. Physicists believe, physicists believe
Mhm.
they were operative before the universe was born, and they will control the fate of the universe, even after if it dissolves. In fact, the birth of the universe was consequence of the laws of physics, like likewise Karmavad, the law.
Karmavad.
Sorry, how is
Mhm.
Ka, Karmavad?
Karmavad. You heard about word karma?
Karmavad.
Yes.
The law governing Jiva is eternal, and therefore it is believed that the Jainism is eternal.
Mhm.
Uh, okay, in this paragraph,
Mhm.
they talk about the Jainis that the Jainis is the eternal religion. I remember in another video in the beginning of the book that they explain that when you are understanding the idea of religion, this religion has to be eternal, not for this moment in the life. So
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. Mhm.
how to, and and they create
Inclusive. Mhm.
an, an analogy with physics in which we have the certain laws about the the behavior of the nature,
Mhm.
and in the same way there are certain laws related to the behavior of own behavior, o sea, related
Mhm.
about
Jiva.
yes,
Jiva.
our
Jiva
own
is,
behavior. The-
yes. Jiva is something which is you can call life or you can call living things.
mm,
More specifically, here it means soul, alma.
perfect.
So here the here it is saying that because the same way that the universe is governed by the physics law, the jiva is governed by the karma law. So
Ah,
whatever happening in the universe, for example, is expanding, contracting, or gravitational force is there, which is attracting the massive bodies. Everything is governed by certain physical law, right?
right.
That is another thing that we don't understand those laws. That's a very completely different thing. But there is a law which is there. That's why a particular thing is behaving in that way, right? For example, Earth is rotating around the sun because of certain laws, right?
Right.
Yeah. It is a different question. If somebody asks who put the Earth in that particular orbit, that's a very different question. But once it is there, it is governed by a particular law that is understood by the physicists, right? Maybe not completely, but they understood up to some extent, right?
Yeah, I'm
It
getting
is
your
the
point.
same with the yes, it is the same with the jiva. Like jiva, I mean the atma or soul, the alma, or you can call it living beings. They have been governed or they are governed by the karma, the law of karma. That's what author is trying to say here. And so jiva is governed by karma. That means before the birth of jiva or the life and after death of life, it is also governed by karma. That in that sense, it is eternal. Yeah.
Mm, yeah. Yeah.
Shall we go on the next page, or you want to say something on that?
No, it's okay. We can continue. I think it's very interesting that we can continue
Yep.
reading.
25. I should be on 25. Page number 25. Yeah. Here. You
Uh,
see it?
yes.
Mm-hmm.
Any dharma which claims to be eternal must therefore be consistent with the laws of physics. what these laws of are and how they match with the basic tenet of Jainism will be discussed in the following chapter, but now we turn to the central point of Jainism, the cardinal truth in chapter 2.
Yeah. So now let's move to chapter 2. Here is the chapter 2. The cardinal truth. You see that?
Cardinal truth. Perfect. Now I
Mhm.
read better. Okay,
Okay.
cardinal truths. Shashvat,
Shashwat
Satya,
Satya. Yes. Shashwat Satya.
Shashvat,
Satya means truth, and Shashwat means that is, or you can say, absolute. That has that is really true.
Shashvat. What
Yeah.
means Shashvat?
Shashwat. Yes.
Shashvat
It's
Satya.
Hindi word.
Yeah, perfect.
Yes. It's Hindi word.
So
Okay. You see that?
yes, I see.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect.
Okay.
So um, cardinal truths: nature of soul, power of soul, interaction of jiva and ajiva, seven reals. Types of ajiva: space, matter, dharmastikaya, adharmastikaya, time.
Yeah. I think the writer is going to talk about these things in this chapter. That's why he gives some kinds of keywords. These are keywords, I guess.
Yes.
Let's see in the chapter what is there. Okay.
Okay. Jainism firmly believes that the human being has infinite potential, and the procedures and theories
Mm-hmm.
have been propounded to develop this potential fully. The cardinal truth
Mm-hmm.
on which Jainism has based its theories is the existence of soul. If the soul is a myth,
Mm-hmm.
then the pyramid of Jainism is without foundation and cannot be sustained. One can possibly verify that the soul really exists from its assigned characteristic, nature.
Mm-hmm.
That is a paper? Or what say nature? or
Characteristics. I mean, the nature of the soul.
ah, so
Mm-hmm.
but they say, sorry, a little bit more down.
Mm-hmm.
Ah, they say one can possibly verify if the soul really exists from the assigned characteristics. Can you
Mm-hmm.
tell me about this phrase, please? That or it's better to continue to understand it because is I
You want to say something on this line? One can possibly verify if the soul really exists from its assigned characteristics. So I I'm not sure if you remember our discussion on the existence of soul and the experiments to realize it. We have discussed about it in one video. You remember that where we were discussing we don't see electron, right?
right?
We never took a photograph of electron. What we see charge and mass, and we take the
Uh,
ratio of charge and mass, and then we say, okay, because this characteristic is present that means the electron must present there, right?
yeah, perfect. So it's yeah,
So
it's a
it
very
is
good
the same
analogy. It's
thing.
perfect.
Yes.
Yeah, in
Mhm.
that way that you can prove the existence of soul,
Soul, exactly.
understanding the properties or the characteristics of soul.
Exactly.
In the similar way that
Mhm.
you understand that the electron exists, but because you can understand its properties or its characteristics.
Exactly.
Mm,
Exactly.
okay.
Mhm.
Therefore, it is necessary to describe its properties. According to Jainism, soul has infinite properties. Uh,
Mhm.
okay, it's a footnote. It's not it's another book. Yeah, Jainism take the approach that every characteristic of jiva or ajiva is a consequence of an inherent power. Therefore, to have infinite characteristics, the soul has to have infinite types of power. Four, four amongst them are the primary.
Mhm.
These are
Mhm.
uh, jiva. A little bit more down, please. Is a Jivatva Shakti,
Jivatva Shakti. Yeah.
Shakti,
Jivatva Shakti. Yeah.
power to exist forever. It means immortality.
Mhm.
It is eternal. It's
Mhm.
Shashwat.
Shashwat. Mhm.
Shashwat.
Mhm.
Perfect. Chitti Shakti, consciousness.
Chitta Shakti. Mhm.
Chitti
Consciousness. Yeah.
Shakti, Shakti
Mhm.
Shakti, consciousness, or Anand Chaitanya,
Chaitanya. Mhm.
Chaitanya,
Mhm. Mhm.
Drichi Shakti, soul
Mhm.
is an observer, knower,
Yeah.
and
Sarvagya Shakti.
Sarvagya Shakti, power to
Mhm.
know everything.
Mhm.
Ama, Aman
Anant Gyan.
Gyan
Gyan or
or
Om science.
omniscience. Omniscience. Right.
Mhm.
Six other equality important characteristics of soul are Anant Virya, infinite
Mhm.
energy or omnipotence, Sarva, Sarva,
Vyapakva. Sarva Vyapakva.
Sarva Vyapakta, omnipresence, Ananda,
Ananta. Mhm.
pure and infinite bliss,
Mhm.
Anek,
Anekatva.
Anekatva, multi,
Multifaceted.
multifacedness, facedness,
Mhm.
yeah. Eh,
Vibhutva.
Vibhuktva, all
Mhm.
properties, Shaktis exist at the same time, and Sarva
Darshitva.
Darshitva, Sam, Samyak Darshan,
Samyagya. Darshan. Mhm.
faculty to have correct perspective of everything at once.
Advance. Mhm.
Perfect. So, okay, those are the characteristic of
Characteristics of the soul.
soul. Right.
Exactly. Mhm.
Perfect.
So you might have experienced this Rishi Shakti. Soul is an observer. For
Mm,
example, when you are in the state of meditation, you are observing your thoughts. At that
right.
time, you realize that you are not just your thought or you are not just this body. You are something beyond that, right?
Right.
So
The
you have
observer
experience of
of
observer,
the
yes, and you also observe the consciousness. So consciousness is not the soul. In fact, consciousness is one property of being alive. That that means it is one characteristic of the soul. If there is no soul, there will be no consciousness.
mm, perfect.
Okay. These other six, these are these are a bit difficult. One has to go on. One has to be on a specific level to realize, because these all things, these all properties are subjective. You cannot prove them scientifically with an objective approach. So one has
Yes.
to go through subjective experiences to realize them, right?
Right.
Okay.
You have to
Is
realize
there?
that. Yeah.
Yes.
A little
Mhm.
bit down, please. Yeah. Perfect.
Mhm.
It may be pertinent now to ask the question: does Atma, soul, really exist?
Mhm.
Can it be proved? Is
Mhm.
there something which has any or one or all of this characteristic mentioned above?
Mhm.
If so, we can prove the existence of Atma. Logically, the existence of soul is proved by very act of doubting its existence.
Mhm.
Questioning the existence of soul presupposes the existence of the knower, and it is the soul, or
Mhm.
self, which alone has the capability of knowing. Doubting and questioning consciousness, by definition, has mentioned above. Thus, uh, we, thus, thus the answer to the question is hidden to in the question
Question
itself.
itself. Mhm.
Soul is thus swat siddha.
Mhm.
It is self-proven.
Mhm.
Descartes famously proclaimed cogito ergo sum. That is, I think, therefore I am.
Mhm.
Thoughts exist because self exists.
Mhm.
Who is it who is really asking this question about the existence of Atma? And who will understand when the answer is given?
Mhm.
That knower is the soul. That is Chaitanya. Chaitanya.
Mhm.
Who will know the knower except the knower himself.
Mhm.
Be, can you read please?
विज्ञात मारे केन विजय नियत.
Perfect. Therefore,
भगवान महावीर.
Bhagavad Mahavir says you can know or see Atma by Atma. Whatever I am the Paramatma. I deserve to be worshipped by myself. The self is endowed with manifestation of consciousness which is twofold, darshan and gyan. There is not jiva without these two qualities, and these two qualities cannot exist without jiva.
Yeah.
So, do you
Any
have any
question?
comment? Oh, I have, yes.
Yes. Tell
Uh,
me.
it, I, I understand that they are trying to explain how to prove that the soul really exists, because soul is very
Okay.
important for the Jainism. It's the most important concept. So
Mhm.
um, they say that um, you can you cannot prove the existence of a soul using for example, the mind, because with your thoughts, for example, because
Mhm.
soul is not is the observer of your thoughts. So
Mhm.
they say that you only can understand the soul using your soul in certain way. So
Exactly.
I want to
Because
what mean in that phrase in that with
we have understood that soul has various characteristics, right?
right.
Right. So one of the characteristics of soul is the knower, an entity that is knowing and it is conscious. So if somebody is asking this question, if the soul exists, it simply means somebody is doubting that soul does not exist. That simply means somebody has a consciousness. So it proves itself that the person who is asking this question has this characteristic of soul. That's why the person itself has a soul. That's why it is self proven. The thoughts they exist because of the soul. There is no meaning of talking the thoughts of a dead person. I mean, it doesn't make any sense if I say a dead body was thinking to eat a banana. Will it make any sense? If I say to you a dead body of a person was thinking to eat a cake, for example, or eat a chocolate, what will you say to me? You will say, "Oh man, you lose your mind. You are crazy." Yes, you will react in that way because you know that there is no meaning of talking thoughts of a dead person. Doesn't make any sense, right? The
Right.
thoughts means that because you are involved in certain thought process, it simply means that you have the capability of knowing. You have a capability or you have the consciousness, right? And we have already seen that the capability of knowing, the consciousness, the capability of analyzing, asking question is are one of the characteristics of the soul, right?
Right.
So, for example, if somebody give you an answer, soul exists or not, then you will analyze again. So that capability itself is telling that the person, or in case you or me, who are asking or discussing about the soul, have this capability. That's why it proves itself that they have the soul.
Perfect. Yes, that's why they use the analogy with the card with René Descartes. Well, because
Yeah,
they say, I
Descartes
think
said
then.
that I think, therefore I am. That simply means that because of my thinking process, it proves that I exist. How will you prove your own existence?
Exactly.
Mhm. So, if you have any other question, or maybe we can go to the next.
No, we can go to the next. Or if you
Okay.
have another comment, I don't know.
No, it's okay. I'm okay with that paragraph. It's okay for you. You can see it.
A little bit down, please.
Mm-hmm.
More.
More.
Yes,
Okay.
that's perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Atma can exist in pure, free or of bondage state or in bounded state. In pure state, it has the power of infinite gyan, darshan, anand, and potency.
Potential.
Potential.
Mm-hmm.
These are these four are called anand chatutya.
Chatushtay. Mm-hmm.
It is self-proven without being anadi, anand without end, amurta, formless,
Mm-hmm.
indestructible, avinachi,
Mm-hmm.
infinite in expanse, anand
Mm-hmm.
pradeshi,
Mm-hmm.
indivisible, ak, akhand.
Akhand. Mm-hmm.
In addition to these properties, Atma also has some ordinary properties like it has existence,
Mm-hmm.
astitva,
Astitva. Mm-hmm.
astitva,
Mm-hmm.
drauya,
Sarvestva, vastutva, pramayatva, aguru laghutva, pradeshanatva, etc. Some
some
of which have been mentioned above. Yes. There are several, these all are Hindi words, so probably it is difficult to pronounce for you.
yes,
We
yes.
will see in the following, maybe we will see in the following the meaning of each and every one. It is given in and the meaning of each and every one has explained. in great description in other religious books or granthas. We call them granthas. So we will just read them here because I am also not very sure about the meaning. At first, I have to confirm about them. Then we can discuss about these specific words because each word has specific meaning and we can discuss them hours. It's, it's they are deep topics but some of them, like the ever mentioned, for example, Anant Chatushta, it is self-proven without beginning. It has no beginning. The soul has no beginning. The soul has no end. So the soul doesn't die. The soul doesn't born. It is the body or it is a life that is die and born. So soul has no life. Life only has a meaning when soul combines with the body. Without this kind of combination, life has no meaning. Amurta, so soul is amurta. Amurta means formless. It means soul has no form. It is indestructible. Nobody can destruct or destroy the soul. Infinite in expanse. It can take the shape of the body, like the fluid, the gas. If you will fill it in a small box, it will be in a small box. If you will fill in a big box, the gas will take the body of the whole box. Yes, it is infinite in expanse. It can expand in anybody. It can accommodate anybody because it is multi anant pradesha. We will discuss pradesha also in Jainism. They have six realities or seven realities of the universe, and there they explain this what pradeshi means. Indivisible, that simply means it cannot be broken. It is just one thing. And initiation of these Ananchadushta properties, well, when you are not in the bondage state, when you are not bound with the karma, the soul is in the state of Ananchadushta, right? And apart from the ever mentioned properties, Diego, are you okay?
Yes, I'm okay.
Diego,
Can you hear me?
hello. Yes,
Hello?
now I hear you. In between, yes, now it's okay.
It's okay?
Yes, now
I'm
it's okay. Yeah, yeah.
okay. Yes, no,
In addition to these,
I hear you everything. That
yeah, okay. And in addition to these above-mentioned Ananchadushya properties, there are more properties here, and let's read them for now. We can discuss them on some other occasion. Okay, so should I
okay.
go further?
No,
It
I
is
was
the
thinking in everything because yes, soul
mhm,
is eternal in certain way because it has not beginning, not end. You cannot destroy it and uh,
yes,
formless, and that's nice.
mhm,
Yes, it's interesting because
yeah, mhm,
I think that most of the religion uh, they arrive to the concept of something similar to soul or the soul. So it's very interesting
uh-huh,
when you think that probably soul is real. I mean, I don't used to think about it. Probably there are many things that they do that probably for many people is a kind of truth that the soul exists. But
mhm,
when you understand all the context, it's very possible, possibly, or very plausible that soul is real or is uh,
mhm,
and it's interesting that this description uh, for
mhm,
for understanding the what is soul
yeah,
and its
mhm,
properties. Yeah.
yes, well, it is the same question because we have never seen the electron, then how we can say there exists electron? To say that electron exists, we have to identify what does it mean or what it takes to say something exists. So to say that something exists, one has to first define what one wants to say that it exists, right?
Right.
So the existence depend on its properties or characteristics.
Yeah. Okay.
So it is the here it is the, and now I will go to the next.
Okay.
It is
It's,
the
it is the
knower,
okay.
knower. Mhm,
It is the knower. Can
mhm.
know without sense organs. It means it is super sensus.
Person, yes.
Uh,
Indriyati,
Indriyatit beyond
beyond
perception.
perception.
In
Mhm,
pure state, Atma is free, unbounded,
mhm, mhm.
nirpeksha, swarit, self-supporting,
Vasrit.
ashal,
Mhm.
motion
Achal.
or vibrationless,
Mhm,
nisang, without company,
mhm,
alone, and
mhm.
gipak,
Gyapak.
yapak,
Jyotimat.
timatra, self-illuminate.
Self-illuminate. Mhm,
It does not age, is timeless, akal, and so on and so on.
mhm,
The main question is whether soul is material or non-material.
mhm,
Majority of thinkers believe it is to be non-material.
mhm,
Einstein has shown that the matter can be converted
mhm,
in energy and vice versa through his famous equation E equal mc squared. Thus
mhm,
science has no difficulty in converting non-corporeal into corporeal
mhm,
and vice versa. Whatever
mhm,
the nature of soul, one thing is clear: because of its power of ak- akandatva,
Akhandatva.
akan
Akhandatva.
aver, akandatva, akan
Mhm.
abhed,
Abhed. Mhm.
it cannot
Abhed.
abhed,
Mhm,
it cannot be further subdivided into parts. It is the
mhm,
minutest of the minutes and ati shukma,
mhm,
expressible or not, material or not material, or a form yet known. Jain scriptures mention that the soul can interact with the subtle material particles, karmanu.
mhm,
When it does
mhm,
so, it can undergo vibration. Now, as far
mhm,
as we know, only physical entities can have vibrational modes.
mhm,
Thus, in impure bone state, it has the capability vibration.
mhm,
Several Oriental thoughts believe in the existence of soul, but their views are not identical. It ought to be so because of the properties of anektapa,
Nekatva. Mhm.
anekatva,
Multifacetedness.
multifaceted. Yeah, according
Mhm.
to Sapt, Sapt,
Saptabhangi.
Saptavangi, the theory of seven modes of existence, a theory of propounded by James, to be described later in chapter 3. Some things are indescribable and may exist in multiple forms at the same time. According, we can say it is material, it is not material, it is material but still not expressible as material. It is non-material but still not expressible as non-material. It is both material and non-material. None, neither material nor non-material, and it is non-expressible. This
Mhm,
concept agreed with the modern physics concepts of quantum mechanics, in which elementary particles, the ultimate of matter may occur as particle or wave or both.
Mm-hmm.
Sub Sub-Bagi has been explained very succinctly by D.S. Kothari in a quantum mechanical way by taking the example of a particle in a box which is divided by partition with a hole in two compartments, A and B. Because the particle-wave duality, the particle, say a photon or electron, can be in compartment A or in compartment B. In A and still is not only in A, in B, uh,
Yeah, yeah.
and still is not only in B, and is not A and B, but elsewhere outside in the box, in A as well as in B, and in a in an indeterminated state,
State. Mm-hmm.
avyakta. The
Avyakt.
solution,
Avyakt.
avyakta.
Mm-hmm.
The same solution emerged from the consideration of quantum mechanics, as has been shown mathematically by taking wave functions. Following this consideration, we may therefore take the view here that the soul may be both material and non-material, and nature and indescribable.
Mm-hmm.
Indescribable.
So you have any
Yes,
question in this?
it's
Tell.
very interesting. Yes, because first they talk about the if the soul is material or non-material, and because
Mm-hmm.
it's a common question when you think about something. uh,
Mm-hmm.
so they explain that in the Jainis they understand that soul is material and is not material, and
Mm-hmm.
it's not necessarily material or non-material. It
Mm-hmm.
can be a kind of a mixed state. I don't
Mm-hmm.
know if the word, but and in physics they understand the same with the quantum mechanics
Mm-hmm.
when they understand the problem in which uh, you have a particle in certain box A or B, so
Mm-hmm.
they you can you can understand the situation, not only considering that the particle is in A or the particle is in B. You can understand the complete situation when you understand that the particle can be in a mixed state of the A and B.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a nice analogy. Uh,
Yes.
that is my
Yes.
comment. I
It's
don't know
an
if you
analogy. Yes.
comment. Yeah.
Yes. It is an analogy. So we in Jainism there are multifacetedness like Saptabhangi, the seven modes of existence of soul. So there are seven different modes that you have seen when you solve the Schrodinger equation for particle in box problem. When you divide the box and when there is a quantum particle inside the box, and then you see in part A and part B where is the particle. So many times the wave function that overlap because of the wave function duality, and it is really difficult to determine with the precision if the particle is in A or is in B. So there are probabilities distributions that particle could be in A or could be in B or in both or neither in none of them. It is the same in Saptabhangi seven modes. The first, it is material. Yeah, it is
Yeah.
material from one context. So it is the same when you solve the Schrodinger equation, you apply the boundary condition, and within the context of that boundary condition, you say this is the probability of finding the particle within this boundary condition. So it is material when it is bonded with the karmanus. When it is bonded with the karmanu, it may experience some kinds of vibrations That is the property of material. Second, it is non-material. So when it is outside of bondage of karmanu, it is non-material. It is in pure state. It is material, but it's still not expressible as material. So when it is bondage, for example, you have milk and you have water, and when you put the water in the water itself is there, but it is not expressible as water. It is mixed in the milk. You call it milk. It is the same way here. It is material. You call it material, but it's still not expressible as soul. It is non-material, but it's still not expressible as non-material. It is both material and non-material. None, neither material nor non-material. It is non-expressible. So it can stay well. It is difficult to make an analogy with the sixth one, none. Neither material nor non-material, because we don't know third thing which does fall in this category, which is material and which is non-material. Right? But
Perfect.
you can make an analogy. For example, you have lentils separately, you have water, and or for example like this, you have flour, wheat flour, you add some water, you add some ingredients, and you make bread, right?
Right?
So in the state of bread, the all the ingredients gone away. In that case, it is neither flour. It is one entity. It is one separate entity as a bread, right? Of course, there is a water, but in that particular state of bread, you can't say it is flour. It is not wheat flour. It is bread now. It is the same thing with, for example, milk and yogurt.
Mm.
When milk is combined with certain bacteria, then it converts to the yogurt. So it lost its entity, but the component of milk is still there.
Yeah, I'm getting your point.
So sometimes it's difficult to think in that way, because one needs some realization. These things are for realization, because it's like saying this: if I never taste anything sweet in my life, or anybody in this world, even for the God, it will be impossible to explain me how sugar tastes. Yes?
Yes.
So it
Uh,
is like that. One can make an analogy, but really to understand them, to realize them, one has to experience all these things. And okay, so we here you want to say something else, or we should go further?
no, we can go forward. Yeah.
So we are good here. No problem. Okay, so following these consideration, we may think, okay, we have done this. Now here, many quantities, many qualities.
Many qualities are ascribed to Atma in Jain, Hindu, and Buddha scriptures. Buddhism
Mhm.
also rests on the existence of soul, but the Buddha had even forbidden this question to be raised because it is indescribable.
Mm.
In the spirit of the elaborate discussion given above, the nature, a little bit more down, please.
Well,
I, sorry, a little bit more. Perfect.
mhm.
In spite of the elaborate discussion given above, the nature of the soul is a highly debatable point.
Yeah.
Materialist, materialist and spiritualist each recognize only one reality. Scientists hypothesize that living can emerge out of non-living, whereas some spiritualists believe that the all matter is a manifestation of self, Atma. It
Mm.
is, however, not clear how either of these claims can be accomplished. To solve this dilemma, some dualistic theory were proposed. They consider mind and matter, or Purush and Prakriti, as two eternal, coexistent, independent, interacting reals, even
Mm-hmm.
if the two ways of psychophysical interaction between mind and matters, from mental to physical,
To
as in action.
physical. Mm-hmm. As
Uh,
in action. Mhm. Yes, we are here.
a little bit
Yeah.
down. Yeah.
I just highlighted this. As in,
Yes. So a little bit more down, please. Ah, yeah, perfect.
mhm,
From mental to physical, as in action of body commanded by thoughts, or from physical to mental, in a perception occur. How can our abstract in eternal thoughts and intention about action cause the physical motion of our bodies without the presence of self everywhere within the whole body and confined to the body? A property so ascribed to self called, can you tell it please?
Niya Pradeshatva Shakti.
Perfect. Niya Pradeshta Shakti.
Niyat Pradeshatva Shakti. Yes.
Perfect.
Mm-hmm.
According to Jainism, the universe is an interplay between Jiva and Ajiva. The soul and the Karmanu interact with each other without losing their essential qualities. Jainism is clear that Jiva cannot be converted into Ajiva and vice versa, a quality known as Aguru
Aguru
Lagutva,
Lagutva.
which
So
maintains
this word we have already seen in the above text. We have seen Aguru Lagutva, one of the properties of the soul.
oh,
Mhm.
perfect,
Mhm.
which maintains them as they are and prohibits conversion from one to another, although they can interact and fuse with one another. Jains
Mhm.
consider both mother and jiva as ashtikya,
Astikaya.
ashtikaya. Both are
Mhm.
real. Sat, utpad,
Utpad Vyay. Vyay.
vyaya.
Mhm. Dhruvya Yuktam Sat.
Every action by jiva results in a psychological, psychophysical, entity called
Entity.
called karma sharira,
Sharira. Body. You can call it Karman body.
karma body.
Mhm.
In bounded state, it acquires vibrations.
Spandan Yuktam.
Spandan, yeah.
Spandan means vibration. Yukt means with. Okay, so I think we can leave here. If
Perfect.
you want to say something about the above paragraph or some comments,
Yeah,
then we
I
can
will.
continue tomorrow from here. Let, let me first highlight this so that we don't forget where we were. Yes, now it's okay. Yeah. So if you want to say anything about here, for example.
Yes, in the last paragraph,
Mm-hmm,
uh, I think it was they was talking they was talking about the jiva and ajiva, and jiva
uh-huh,
Jiva is related to soul,
Yes,
and Ajiva, I don't understand what is
which is
Ajiva.
non-living, non-living.
Non-living. Perfect.
For example, just this body after death.
Ah, perfect, perfect. And they say that for understand um, in this understanding, they create two philosophies. I don't know how to say it. Two thinkings. One is for the how is the behavior or the understanding for Jiva, and another for understanding of the Ajiva, and they
Yes, yes.
interact,
Another, mhm. That
but
is another philosophy. For example, here, it is however not clear how either of these claims can be accomplished. For example, there are two types of philosophy: materialism, materialistic, and spiritualist, right? And hello, hello, Diego, hello, Diego, Diego.